right, so we're going to start with naming ionic compounds. And for us to name ionic compounds, first we're going to make the chemical compound and then we're going to name it. So let's start with an easy one. What is the charge of sodium? Charge of sodium if it's in group 1A?
Positive 1.
Positive 1. And to sodium, I'm going to add carbonate. Carbonate is CO3. And carbonate is on the back part of your periodic table, and it has a charge of -2. First, we're going to make the chemical compound. So this 1, I need to make it a 2. All right, so in order for it to become a 2, I'm going to put a 2 here, right? It's 2 times 1, positive 2. Minus 2 is equal to 0. So there I have my chemical compound. Na2, CO3. Now, how am I going to name this compound? Any idea? Idea of the name of this compound?
Well, as is an ionic, it will be sodium, number 2 in Roman, and the other will be goethite.
Sodium? Sodium
And
is okay, so it doesn't need parentheses, just sodium, because sodium only has 1 charge. So sodium, and the name of a polyatomic ion, which is this one, doesn't change. So the name of this one is sodium carbonate. All right, just like that, sodium carbonate. Can you see the board well, or do I put it a little bit closer? All right, so the name of this first one is sodium carbonate. Let's practice with the transition metal because somebody mentioned the parentheses. So we're going to practice with one that has a transition metal. Like for example, let me look for them. Because I don't have my periodic table, so I'm going to look for them. Let's start with copper. Copper. Find copper in your periodic table, and you're going to find out that copper can have a charge of +1 and a charge of +2. All right? And to copper, I'm going to add something that is called bromine. That's on the back part of your periodic table, and it has a charge of -1. And for this example in copper, I'm going to use the charge of +2, okay? I'm going to use the charge of +2. So we have copper with a charge of +2 and bromate with a charge of -1. How is this compound going to look at the end? If we have a 2 here, we have a 1 here, we need to make this 1 a 2, right? So I put parentheses, I close my bromate, and then I put this 2 times 1, -2. All right? So my chemical compound looks like copper, open parenthesis, bromate, I close parenthesis, and a 2. Did you understand this example? Everybody's getting this?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. So now, copper is a transition metal. And the rule tells you that to name a transition metal, we need parentheses. So now we're going to put a parenthesis with the Roman numeral. So the name is copper. I open parenthesis. What charge am I using? 2. So I put 1, 2, because it's in Roman numerals. I close parenthesis. And this molecule here is called bromine. And the polyatomic ions, the name doesn't change. So I just put it like that. Copper to bromine. All right, and that's the name of this compound. Did Ms. Garcia send you the ID code that some of your parents are asking me by phone right now?
Yes, Miss, and the link.
Ah, okay, thank you.
Okay.
Make sure you copy the example. Let me just send the link to one of your parents. And all right, we're gonna make another with a transition metal. Let's use iron. Iron, it's also a transition metal. And iron can have two charges. Iron can either be +2 or +3. We're going to use the example of +3 here. And to iron, I'm going to add chlorine. Chlorine is a halogen. It's in group 7A. What is the charge of chlorine if it's in group 7A? Do you guys remember?
It's -1.
So I have chlorine as a -1. How is the compound going to look at the end if I have a 3 here and a 1 here? What do I need to do? I have 3 and I have 1. Remember these need to add to 0? So to chlorine, I'm going to add 3 here. Because 3 times 1 is -3. And that's going to give me 0, right? So my chemical compound at the end is going to look iron, chloride, 3. All right, rules for naming. First, I'm going to name my metal. And my metal is iron. And because it's a transition metal, I need to open parenthesis. I need to put the number between parentheses, 1, 2, 3, in Roman numerals. I close parenthesis, and then I name the nonmetal. What changes in the nonmetal? Do you remember the rule for a nonmetal? What's the rule when you're going to name a nonmetal? In a nonmetal, we're going to change the ending to I. So in this case, we have chlorine. So it's not gonna be named chlorine. It's gonna be named chloride. So in this case, we have iron chloride. All right, because we changed the ending. Are we good with this naming? If you don't want to talk, you can send a message, all right? Because I know some of you are a little bit shy talking by this media. So you can just send me a message and I'll read it. All right, we're gonna make another example using another nonmetal. Potassium is in group 1A. What is the charge of potassium? And oxygen is in group 6A. What is the charge of oxygen?
-2.
-2 oxygen. And potassium?
+1.
+1. Awesome. So I have 1 minus 2, -1. So I need to make potassium become a 2. So I put a 2 to potassium, because 2 times 1 is 2, minus 2 is equal to 0. So my chemical compound is potassium 2 and oxygen. All right, so the rules for naming tell me that first I'm gonna name my metal. So I name my metal first. Do I need parentheses in potassium? Do I need to open parentheses in potassium? No? Yes? Maybe? I don't know.
No,
No.
no, because it's not a transition metal.
Exactly. Potassium is not a transition metal, so we don't need a parenthesis, okay? So it's just potassium. And oxygen, remember we need to change the ending to I. So it's called potassium oxide. All right, this is how you call oxygen. It's not oxygenide, okay? It's oxide. All right, because the rest of them we just change the last letters, and in oxygen we change most of it, okay? So it's potassium oxide. We're going to use one with sulfate. If you have a periodic table, on the back part of your periodic table, you have a chart that I think is color red or blue, I'm not sure, I don't remember, that has different polyatomic ions. We're going to use this one right now. And we're going to combine it with mercury. Mercury is a transition metal, and it has a charge of +1. What is the charge of sulfate? If you don't have a periodic table, this polyatomic ions are on your book. I don't remember the page right now, but they're on your book. I remember I told you that on the last video. So this one right here is called sulfate. Search it on your periodic table so that you learn how to use it. And sulfate has a charge of -2. So I have mercury with a charge of +1 and sulfate with a charge of -2. I need to mercury become a 2, so I'm going to put a 2 here. 2 times 1, 2, minus 2, 0. So my compound is mercury and sulfate. Wait, sorry. Mercury 2, and then we have the sulfate. Now we're going to name it. Put mercury. Mercury is a transition metal, and I'm using the charge of +1. Look at this. The charge you're going to put between parentheses is this number above, all right? Not this one. This one. Okay? So I have mercury, I open parenthesis, 1. I close parenthesis, and then sulfate. Why? Because I don't change the name of a polyatomic ion. Okay? So this is it. Mercury, 1, sulfate. It's easy, right? I think you're all getting this topic. All right, now we're going to add aluminum and nitrogen. Look in your periodic tables. What is the charge of aluminum? Aluminum, I believe, is in group 5A or no, sorry.
+3.
The aluminum is
+3.
+3. Very good. And nitrogen? Charge of nitrogen, people?
-3.
-3 or -2? Not sure. Let me look.
-3.
-3. All right, so -3. So this one is already done, right? Because we have a +3 minus 3 is 0. So we don't have to do anything. We just put them together. So it's aluminum and nitrogen. Is aluminum a transition metal or a regular metal? Aluminum, if you see it's a little bit right at the periodic table, so it's a metalloid. But we don't have a rule for a metalloid, so we name it the same way. So it's just aluminum. All right, we don't put a parenthesis. So we have aluminum, and then we have nitrogen. How is nitrogen going to be called if we need to change the ending to "ide"? Any idea? Nitrogen is almost, well, it's very similar to oxygen. So it's called nitride. All right, we changed the ending to "ide." It's not nitrogenide, okay? It's nitride. Make sure you write this down in oxygen and nitrogen because they're called a little bit different. If you see in chlorine, it's chloride, and bromine is bromide, okay? But this nitrogen and oxygen do change. So make sure you write them down, okay? We're gonna make a few more examples. Any questions so far?
Miss, tiene su micrófono apagado. Tiene su micrófono apagado.
Okay, okay. Thank you. No sé qué le pasó. Okay, ahora sí.
Sí, escucho.
Okay, we have manganese. Manganese in the periodic table is number 25. What charges can manganese have? If you have your periodic tables, you can see that manganese has a lot of charges, okay? So we're gonna combine manganese and we're gonna combine it with oxygen. Oxygen has a charge of -2. And with manganese, we're gonna use two charges. First, we're gonna use the charge of +4, and then we're gonna use the charge of +7. All right, manganese, +4. Manganese is 4, oxygen is -2. How is this compound gonna look at the end? I have a 4 here. I need to make this 2 become a 4. So the simple way of making it is to put a 2 to oxygen. Plus 2 times -2 is -4. +4 minus 4 is equal to 0. Okay? So there I have my chemical compound. MnO2. Okay? How am I going to name this? I name my metal first. Because it's a transition metal, I need to open parentheses. I need to put this charge. Remember, it's in Roman numerals. and the Roman numeral 4 is this one. I close parenthesis, and then I name oxygen, changing the ending to I. I need to change the ending to I to this one, all right? So it's manganese 4 oxide. All right, so this is how you name this compound. And now we're gonna make it with a charge of 7. We're just gonna change this. Manganese and oxygen. Okay, I have a charge of 7 and I have a charge of 2. What's the common factor between 2 and 7? I need to move all the way to 14. Okay, so to manganese, I'm gonna put a 2. So 2 times 7 is positive 14. And to oxygen, I'm gonna put a number 7. 7 times 2 is negative 14. And positive 14 minus 14 is 0. So in this one, when we change the charges, it becomes Mn2O7. And in the name, all we need to do is change the number. Roman numeral 4. 7, because it's the charge I'm using. It's a letter V and after 2 letter like capital I. So we have manganese 7 oxide. All right, this is again the rule of transition metals. When you have a regular metal, you don't need to do it. All right. I hope you're copying the examples, guys. Let's make another example. Lithium is element number 3. What is the charge of lithium?
It is positive 1.
Exactly. Lithium is positive 1. And we're going to combine it with a polyatomic ion that is named silicate. And it's on the back part of the periodic table or in the chart that you have on your books. And silicate has a charge of negative 2. So as we've been learning, the charges on the top need to have the same number. So this one's easy to make because I just need to put a 2 here. And that becomes lithium inside O3. And what is the name of this? First, I'm going to name my metal, lithium. No parentheses because it's not a transition metal, so it's just lithium. And the name of this polyatomic ion is silicate, so it's lithium silicate. All right, so this topic is simple. The thing is that you need to practice, okay? But it's really simple. All right, we're gonna make a few more examples before we finish the class. And we have silver. Silver is number 47. And we're gonna add carbonate, which is negative 2. Silver is number 47, and if you check the charge of silver, it has a charge of positive 1. Again, I need to convert this 1 to make it a 2. So I put a 2 down. That's gonna multiply with this one. And then there I have it. Ag2CO3. If you have questions and you don't want to use your microphone, just send me a message, okay? So here we have it. So it's silver. Because silver is a transition metal, I need to open parentheses. I put the charge, which is 1. close parenthesis, and I name the polyatomic ion without changing the name. So it's silver 1 carbonate. Okay, and that's it. Silver 1 carbonate. That's basically it. We're going to use another transition metal. In this example, we're going to use nickel. Nickel with a charge of +3. And we're going to combine it with nitrate, which has a charge of -1. Okay, pay attention to this one because it's a polyatomic ion and a transition metal. Okay, what happens is that since I have a 3 here and I have a 1 here, I need to make this polyatomic ion a 3. But if I just put it here, without putting the parenthesis, it's going to look like NO33. That's why when you're going to add a number to a polyatomic ion, you need to open parentheses and, of course, close parentheses. So we put the polyatomic ion between parentheses and then we put the number, okay? So now I have this +3 minus 3 is -3, and it's going to add up to 0. So here we have nickel. I'm sorry. So this compound is going to look this way: nickel, open parenthesis, NO3. I close parenthesis, and then I put the other. Are we clear with this example? With this polyatomic ion? Once we have it like that, we're going to name it. So I have nickel. Nickel has a charge of +3. I open parenthesis. Why? Because it's a transition metal. So I put 1, 2, 3, close parenthesis, and then I name the polyatomic ion, which is nitrate. So it's nickel nitrate. All right. So this is how everything how we name this types of polyatomic ions. I'm not sure if everyone's understanding the topic. I'm gonna make one more example with a polyatomic ion where you have to put a number. And with that, we're done with the class. So if you're not understanding, let me know. All right, we're going to use in this example, we're going to use titanium and chlorate. Sorry, perchlorate. This two examples. Okay, so here we have titanium with a charge of -2, chloride with a charge of -1. Because it has a number here, I can put it on the side. So that means I'm gonna open it, I'm gonna put it between parentheses. So I close it between parentheses and I put a 2. Okay? Because 2 times -1 is -2 plus 2, 0. So this chemical compound is gonna look titanium, yellow 4, like that. This is how it's gonna look at the end. And the name is gonna be, I name my metal first, titanium. I open parenthesis, I'm using the charge of +2, so I put the 2 between parentheses. And then I name the polyatomic ion, which is perchlorate. The name of this polyatomic ions, they're already given. They're on a chart already on your periodic table or in your books, okay? So those ones, you don't need to learn them because they're already given to you. You don't have to memorize them. So this is it, titanium chloride, perchlorate, sorry. And this is how you put the transition metals. Remember, you need to do that. I hope you all understand this topic, because if you do, we're gonna move on to the other naming, which is covalent bond naming. It's a little bit more complex. And next week we would start naming in Spanish. Okay, right now you learned in English, and next week we would start naming in Spanish. Questions? Do you have questions so far? No questions, people? Is it all clear? Yes, Andy, tell me. Josue, what don't you understand? Remember that without the rules, you're not gonna be able to make this, okay? You need to read the rules again. If you didn't write that down, well, look for the video again and try to write them down on your notebook so it's easier. How do we know the charges of the ones like chloride? It's on the book, okay? I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you by a message. And if you bought a periodic table, like I think you have it. I think you bought the periodic table, and it's on the back part of your periodic table. And I believe it's a red chart. Sometimes you're just gonna have the name. Maybe, sorry, you're just gonna have the element like that. And sometimes you just see 4 lines. So you count the lines and there you know that's -4, or if you only have 2, you know it's -2, or sometimes just 1, it's -1. Okay, but it's on the back part of the periodic table, and if not, you find it on your book. Okay, I'll take a picture and I'll send it to you guys so that you have it when you're gonna make the practice. Any other questions? All right, so if there's no more questions, this was the class for today. I hope you understand. And we're gonna keep on looking at each other. So if you have questions, write them down. And when we have another class, you send them to me. All right? Nice to see you guys. Nice to talk with some of you, because some of you never turned on the audio, but it's good to listen to some of you. Have a nice day. Bye, guys.
Bye, Miss.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
Miss.
Bye, Carlita.
Thank
Bye,
you,
Miss.
Miss.
Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Thank you for being in the class.
Miss, me tengo que salir yo, ¿verdad?
Ahorita termino yo. Bye.